Reporting to the media this week at Post-Executive Council Media Briefing are the Secretary in the Division of Community Development and Culture, Dr. Denise Soyafat Angus, and the Secretary with responsibility for Tourism and Transportation, Tracy Davidson Celestine.
The Mass Fraternity, they have informed us that they are also seeing an increase in the number of mass bands, their registrations. And so far, overall, they've had a number of 23 persons or mass band leaders or 23 additional registration to the Mass Fraternity for the year, for this year. So I think we're going to have an exciting carnival period this year in Tobago, and that with the launch of the Carnival City that the Carnival Committee has developed. The Carnival Committee has launched a Carnival City in an effort to meet the funding requirement they were given. They decided to launch the Carnival City in order to centralize some of the infrastructure. And so within that Carnival City, in addition to some of the regular activities that would have been occurring previously in terms of Pan, Calypso, and Mass, the competitions. In addition, I have been informed that they will be having some new additions to that space of the Mud Museum, the Innovation Project, Carnival City Opening Masquerade this Sunday that includes a living carnival exhibition. In addition to the Carnival City, another initiative in terms of bringing those within the film industry on board with us, getting them excited about their role in Carnival, we will be launching the Visual Amateur Coverage Exposition, where we will be inviting amateurs to depict Carnival, the Tobago Carnival experience through their eyes. And so that will be a mini competition run during that period to get persons, the persons involved in film to become active, showing them that they too can be part of that cultural industry. On another note, the recent challenges in accountability expressed by both the Minister of Finance, Minister Hawaii, and Minister Dr. Lincoln Douglas of Arts and Multiculturalism, where they would have expressed freely in their newspapers concerning, the whole accountability for the public funding and their challenges with their disbursement of funding over the carnival season. The division would have hosted a meeting to continue the sensitization and training of our stakeholders in preparing them for managing the funds that they are being given, because we have asked them to consider that sponsorship is very different from delegated responsibility. And therefore, our major stakeholders like TUCO, Pan Trinbago, the Mass Fraternity, and also, those in the Windward, they're not just considered that we are giving them sponsorship, that they have delegated responsibility in their various areas to operationalize Carnival with the Carnival Committee as the coordinating body. And therefore, we would have hosted a meeting yesterday at the Fairfield Complex, and we brought someone from Trinidad from the Transparency International Group to assist in explaining the need for accountability and sharing some of the tools for accountability that they can be used. And many of them would have attended, and so we will see if that is a successful event afterwards. We will be able to measure that. Additionally, I would have met with the National Carnival Commission President, Ms. Alison Dumas, yesterday to discuss the measures being taken in Trinidad to begin ascertaining the value of our carnival product as contributing to the economy. I would have applauded the initiative of the NCC because I think it is high time that we begin to find a way of measuring the contribution of the cultural and creative arts industry to the economic development of not just Tobago, but of Trinidad and Tobago. And therefore, the meeting was very welcomed. Coming out of the meeting, we would have agreed to developing a memorandum of understanding between the NCC and the Tobago House of Assembly to find a smooth way of operating and being able to find the resources to assist in the development of a program to measure these contributions. In addition, on our Tobago side, we will be appointing a technical committee in order to be able to coordinate this research, and you'll be hearing more about that later on. Additionally, she would have agreed and that we ought to be having a Tobago House of Assembly person sitting on the board of the NCC. They have not had that person there for the last, I think, year and a half, since November 2012. So representation will be made to the Minister of Arts and Culturalism to have a Tobago House of Assembly person appointed to the commission, such that as a meaningful stakeholder, we can ensure that the whole carnival product of the country develops in a particular way, and there is smooth development also on the Tobago side of things. The Tobago Festival of the Arts is a new initiative that will be launched on March 10th. This initiative is a collaboration between the Division of Education, Youth Affairs and Sport and the Division of Community Development and Culture. It is supposed to be a festival that is similar in a competitive nature, that brings into the arena persons who are in music, dance, folk, drumming, etc. So bringing the visual and performing arts together in terms of in a competitive arena. However, the first phase will begin with this year, just in the schools and through utilizing music primarily. We know that there is no music festival in Trinidad, and so given the lack of that, and that students would have been preparing, we decided to launch the first part and focus on the music for this year and add the various components in subsequent years. So it will begin on March 10th, and it will run for about 2 weeks. And then in subsequent years, we will be adding the additional components to that. Lastly, the film industry is very important to us on this island. I mean, it would be a number of years where a number of persons would have come from abroad to invest in filmmaking on our beautiful island, and we would have partnered with a group here to do the film called The Resort. Division of Tourism and Transportation would have assisted them in the use of Pigeon Point facilities, and we would have also given a contribution in terms of funding towards the payment of the actors and also some of the organizing crew. In addition, the payment would also be an investment in some future trainings that will be held here in August with young actors on the island. I really have to congratulate the organizers that they would have taken the majority of persons, about over 95% of the actors and the actresses were used from the Tobago pool.
When we look at our airlift situation, we would have welcomed Apollo for the first time to Tobago in the month of December, and they will service the Tobago route directly from the Scandinavian markets right up until April beginning. I must report that the service continues to exceed expectations, and on average it comes in at a 99% load factor. The Apollo team is very pleased with the communication between the Division of Tourism and Transportation, as well as the level of service given from the Airports Authority and Customs and Immigration. And from their recent survey, that is with regards to the visitors who have sampled our sites and attractions, they have rated Destination Tobago very highly. As a matter of fact, they have rated the destination in terms of the sites and attractions at 8.9 out of an overall score of 10. And so in those areas, Tobago is doing very well, but we have fallen below the line in terms of our customer service delivery. And the Division of Tourism and Transportation is working hand in hand with the Tobago Hotels Association and even some of the respective hotels to work on how we can improve our service delivery standards in those accommodations. We have also been in constant contact in constant discussion with the Tobago Hospitality and Tourism Institute that has a role to play in ensuring that our customer service delivery standards are second to none. We have also seen an overall increase in the month of December of about 45.3% higher than 2012. And this is with regards to international passenger arrivals to Tobago. And this, of course, doubled that of 2012. We have also been able to achieve a 75% to 80% occupancy rate average for the period January to December 2013. And I'm also told that hotels are basically on stop sell for February to early March, meaning that they are operating at very high levels of occupancy. We are working hand in hand with our stakeholders, private and otherwise, to ensure that we continue to maintain this very high level of occupancy rates. And we are doing that by having meetings as well as our representations regionally, domestically, and also internationally. I also want to add that Tobago has been chosen by readers of choice from USA Today, and this is after 4 weeks of voting. Tobago is one out of the 10 most popular Caribbean islands by choice. And so this tells me that Tobago is well poised from now until beyond. Of course, the Division of Tourism and Transportation has a role to play in ensuring that Tobago is well positioned, and we have been doing that with all our different activities and programs from the division. Overall, we have seen a 4% increase in visitor arrivals when compared to the period 2010, and I must really congratulate the staff in the Division of Tourism and Transportation along with our stakeholders for ensuring that our goals and our objectives are achieved as much as possible. I also want to mention that with regards to transportation, we have successfully negotiated for a second flight to Tobago which commences winter 2014. Earlier, or in previous discussions, I would have indicated that we are pursuing a strategy of working with the airlines that are currently flying the Tobago route to increase flights. And out of that strategy, we have successfully negotiated, as I said earlier, with Monarch to add another flight for the winter period. And that flight has started, is on sale basically. 300, we will have an additional 358 seats weekly to the destination. But of major importance in this arrangement is the fact that the stays on the island will not now be 7 days, but 11 days. And this, to my mind, can contribute endlessly to Tobago's economy. I must also add that conversations are continuing with South American Airlines. Again, our strategy is to diversify. We are looking at moving into new markets, and the Latin American market is one of those markets that we are looking to penetrate. And so we are having discussions with South American Airlines with a view to having direct airlift to Tobago. Also, we are expecting services from Manchester to Tobago, which of course will be shared with Barbados. And this is again another new flight that is likely to commence December 2014. In terms of airlift again, we have had very successful negotiations with Caribbean Airlines. And of course, you know that Caribbean Airlines, that domestic air bridge rather, has been presenting quite a number of challenges for us, especially connecting our domestic passengers to destination Tobago. And after several meetings, Caribbean Airlines have agreed, and the management has put on 9 extra weekly flights to cater for the peak season demand. But mind you, this is on a continuous basis. Apart from that, we have successfully negotiated to have 22 extra flights, which represent somewhere in the vicinity about 1,540 seats. And we have requested this so that we can have more predictable airlift for the Jazz period and also for the Easter period. I am already told that these flights are sold out, and we are at the point where we are having conversations to generate extra flights, because clearly there is a demand to come to Tobago around that time, and we need to ensure that we have flights readily available. In terms of our inter-island ferry discussions, I must say that additional sailings have been confirmed from the Port Authority, and they have so far given us all the commitment that they will double their schedule to facilitate the Jazz as well as the Easter period. And we are monitoring, the transportation unit is currently monitoring the sale of tickets with a view to, of course, adding additional services provided by the ferry if that is necessary for the Jazz and the Easter period. And so we have been doing our part in terms of transportation to the island and ensuring that we have proper connectivity, especially for that high demand or peak season time. In the area of cruise, we have recently conducted or concluded our Excellence Shore Training Program. As I indicated earlier, one of the major challenges that we have as a destination is our customer service delivery or customer service standard. And so the Division of Tourism and Transportation would have partnered with the Florida Caribbean Cruise Association to hold this training program for our stakeholders in the cruise industry. And so what we are trying to do basically is to bridge the gap between the expectations of the cruise visitors and the delivery of our onshore experiences. And I would have reported earlier, in earlier press conferences, that it is anticipated that for the 2014-2015 period, cruise arrivals to Destination Tobago will increase by about 100%. We meet with our stakeholders very regularly, at least once per month. And at the last meeting held on Thursday, an invitation was extended to the Transport Commissioner, Mr. Ruben Cato, as well as to the PTSC head, with a view to ironing out some issues that are currently experienced by the taxi and the maxi-taxi associations. They are critical issues that affect transportation with regards to the length of time that it takes to purchase a tour bus to facilitate taking visitors on the island, and also the issue of maxi-taxi rights. The Maxi-Taxi Association is complaining that for some time now, 40 permits have been sought, and to date, none of those permits have been dealt with or issued to persons who are in dire need of those permits. We also discussed the process of registering maxi-taxis and maxi-taxi rights and concessions, and as I indicated, the process to acquire and operate tour buses. The discussions went very well, and there were in fact resolutions in terms of how the respective owners and associations would address these issues in the future. Pigeon Point is leading the way with their upgrades to the facility. We expect that the entrance upgrades will be completed by the middle of March 2014. They are also working on ensuring that we have staff and lifeguard facilities, and the superstructure is 80% completed, and the windows and doors are on average 90% complete. And we expect that that will be completed by the end of March 2014. However, the multipurpose facility to accommodate weddings and events is only 25% complete, but there are some elements that are like the column and beams and the block work that is about 50% complete. But the project is due to be completed by the end of April 2014. And the intention there is to add more essence, more flavor to our sites and attractions. Of course, you know that Pigeon Point has been voted several years straight as one of the best all-day beaches in Tobago, and we are trying our best to ensure that it retains that reputation as much as possible. I also want to mention that with regards to Store Bay Beach facility, the Division of Tourism and Transportation is partnering with Charleston's Place, formerly known as the Waving Gallery. That place is owned by the Division of Tourism and Transportation, and on the 14th of February, there will be the opening of a new restaurant, which will signal again improved services to the already existing services offered on the island. The division would have undertaken the installation of a wheelchair ramp to facilitate physically challenged persons, and they would have done general upgrades to Store Bay in the form of repainting, and are working now on ensuring that we continue to effect the Blue Flag certification program at Store Bay Beach facility. And so what we intend to do is to create more awareness of the facility. They're working, the Pigeon Point board and the Store Bay board is working on their logo development, and more so, they're working on website development so that they can continue to market both Pigeon Point and Store Bay to our visitors alike. About a week and a half ago, we had a meeting with regards to reef tour operations. Of course, we know that there are some issues with respect to the operations of our reef tours. We have overcrowded boats, we have unlicensed vessels, we have some behavioral issues. And so what we are attempting to do at this time is to standardize the product, to standardize the service, to standardize the offering at Store Bay and the Pigeon Point, and for those who access the Buccoo Reef. And so we have revived the committee that was appointed by the Executive Council to give oversight and to monitor and assess. And we have also had a meeting with the Reef Tour Association with a view to, talking to their members about the proposed plans of the Tobago House of Assembly, which is basically to standardize the operations. And so we meet again on Monday in collaboration with the Division of Agriculture, Marine Affairs and the Environment, with a view to putting a timeline within which we can sort out those issues that exist and which impact negatively on our service delivery. Last but by no means least is the inauguration of the Tobago Hotel and Tourism Institute Board, and on Monday the 17th at 11 a.m. we will be putting in place a new board to chart the policy directives and to ensure that we have more effective and efficient operations at the Tobago Hotel and Tourism Institute. And so on Monday, you will hear more in terms of the chairman and its members and their roles and responsibilities. I want to mention that the Division of Tourism and Transportation, hand in hand with the stakeholders, will be traveling on an assignment to Berlin, Germany, during the period March 5th to 9th, 2014. Yes, we will not be here for Carnival 2014. We have to ensure that we make representation. Some time ago, I would have mentioned that there are two important trade shows that Destination Tobago must be at if we are to remain relevant. And one was the WTM, or the World Travel Market, and the other is ITB, which is the International Tourism Bourse. And this takes place from March 5th to 9th. There is a contingent of about 10 persons representing the Division of Tourism and Transportation and the stakeholder groups such as the Tobago Hotel and Tourism Association. And we are going to meet with potential hotel investors. We are also going to speak with German tour operators to discuss the 2014 marketing strategies. Of course, tour operators are very, very important to selling a destination, and we must always ensure we have a very close relationship with those tour operators. One of the things that we also intend to do while we are in the German market is to launch our website. For some time now, our representatives who are attached to the division and to TDC would have been making representation for us to have a website that is German specific. And so we will be launching that there as well. And in 2013, with a view to expanding our reach in the German and the UK market, we hired a representative that is responsible solely for the Baltic countries. And we will be having a reception, a kind of informal or formal, I should say, approach to getting to know them and also giving them insights about the Tobago market so that they too can work hand in hand with the tour operators currently selling the destination out of UK. And of course, we want to identify and explore new and undiscovered business interests while we are there.
Thank you for tuning in to another Tobago House of Assembly's Post-Executive Council media briefing for the week ending February 15th, 2014.